Click the links for Odysee, BitChute, to request a video on coffee. This is Scarlett Johansson's Dark Spider review. A skinny girl with big titties will get the Coomers to pay Disney an extra $30 so that they can cry and coom to middle-aged mom who still is skinny and attractive, because Coomers are Coomers. They have no souls. They've shot it out into a wad of Kleenex, which they have that, depression, and, I don't know, a lot of weed. There's an unlimited supply of 200-pound sacks of soy boys out there who will gladly pay to watch Scarlett D-cup mommy milkers jiggle on screen one last time. Look at it this way. The fat couch surfers paid $1 billion for Brie Larson, who looks pissed off at everything all the time, and who literally insulted them. But again, Coomers, I guess they like the abuse. She's been in, I don't know, every movie that she's been in. Has she ever looked happy in anything? I don't know if she's ever had a happy day in her life. I suspect Coomers are into this sort of mommy milkers thing. And now Scarlett Johansson is getting older. She's putting her whorish ways behind her now that she is aging out of those whorish roles. Stunning and brave to sell out the directors who made you famous. What a backstabbing little see you next Tuesday. Nobody put a gun to your head to make you take those roles and those millions of dollars. She is sort of following in the cloven hoof prints of her spiritual kin, Sarah Silverman and Sacha Cohen. Once they greedily got their money, they decided to shut down everyone else. Hollywood parasites are the most evil people on earth, and I suspect that they will burn in hell for eternity. The professionals, in quotes, reviewers, gave it good numbers, but when you read the reviews, they say it's 10 years too late, which means Scarlett has aged out of the role. But also, Marvel feels like their superhero genre is past the point of the cultural wave. Yes, you can still make a zombie movie today and it'll do okay, but the peak zombie films was, I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago when it was really red hot. And plus, in the universe, isn't she dead? So her 36-year-old mommy self is playing her 28-year-old hot self, and she's trying to avoid the male gaze. But like I said, Coomers love to be stepped on, but the excitement of the movie, I think, is done. The reviewers also said that it's a step or two below Marvel's best. Marvel already isn't Shakespeare, so a step below whatever you think their best is not very good. Marvel movies are really just simple, fun, popcorn films that are not they're just staying away from, they should be staying away from anything heavy. And for me, the best would probably be the first Iron Man, because it had a sweet redemption arc for the guy. He's an alcoholic who kind of got his stuff together. But once, I think post-2020 riots, Marvel films are going to be more and more woke, and you're going to get more, who's that, the Falcon guy who did an interview, and he said he didn't think black men could get ahead in America, as he gives an interview to a major media publication. So I think, like, enjoy it pre-2020, but even in the Avengers, they had, like, Captain Marvel in there, and, like, people weren't really into her, so it's like, it's going to get worse. It's just going to get to the point of, yeah, you know, it was fun while it lasted. You got a couple dozen movies generally in that genre from, I don't know, 1970s to about 2020, and that's enough. Anyway, so I went on a spiritual walkabout into the interwebs to watch the latest Marvel MILF Mommy Milkers offering. It's a James Bond thing where the bad guys are analogs for Trump, blonde daddy Hitler. But along the way, Scarlett has to stop blonde men from committing hate crimes against African migrants. Then she rides her motorbike, or her stunt woman does, through the halls of a high school where she stops a blonde boy from sexually harassing a POC girl who doesn't want to go out with him, because that's an everyday occurrence in America. She rides her bike past Epstein and Weinstein, gives them a little high five and a nod, says, "I'll see you a little bit later," and continues on her mission to take down the blonde men who are actually behind China and India's pollution problem. Turns out that it was a blonde Christian biker gang who is pulling the strings over there, so that's good to know. Then she has to stop a group of blonde Germans from hijacking a plane. But the plane goes through a wormhole, so she can go back in time to give the Austrian corporal several STDs. But in case you forgot, she's a whore who sucks the secrets out of the Chinese or Middle Eastern diplomats because she's the honey trap. That's the character. She has that 1,000 cock stare and permanently smells like ammonia and lube. Anyway, the secondary story is that some pervy critic is a pervy critic. You know why he's a pervy creeper? Well, if I'm being perfectly honest here, he writes for The Guardian. Let's just be honest. I'm sure he's a pervy, degenerate, filthy creeper, but also because he is a male, and actually he does seem like the kind to masturbate to his waifu using tears and lubricant. So what did he do that was literally a hate crime, deserving of such opprobrium? He says, makes a bizarre observation. I can't believe I have to defend some fucking loser at The Guardian. He says, the sensuous cough syrup purr of Scarlett Johansson's voice is something I've missed in lockdown. Now it's back with a throaty vengeance. Okay. Would he say that about a male character? Probably not. But would a female writer say that about a male character? Yeah, probably. It's within the realm. So why isn't it? I can't believe I have to defend this guy at The Guardian. Oh my God. I hate defending SJWs because you know they would stake you alive. They just don't care. They're like, defending them is, there's no point in defending them. But like, okay, this is a pretty reasonable thing to say. She's famous for her vocal talents. It's not outside of the envelope of reasonableness before you get into failure. Remember plastic and elastic deformation, engineering 101? That's not a bizarre observation. Oh, it hurts me to defend this loser. But wait, there's also an unnecessary detour into the protagonist's, quote, daddy issues. Electra and Oedipus complex issues are very common in storytelling. Why is it unnecessary? And why are we criticizing the critics, who's probably a filthy degenerate? Later, he surmises about the relationship with her father, played by whoever, whether it influenced, yes, your relationship with your parents, Oedipus, Electra, yes, that very much, absolutely 100% influences your current relationships with your paramour. It's a little creepy, but, it is what it is. It's just part of the human psyche. Because, who are your models of male and female going to be based on? Mom and dad. So you're looking for your mom or you're looking for your dad. It sounds creepy when you intellectualize it, but it's like you're just looking for models of behavior to align yourself with and bad traits to avoid and learn from. Somehow the most teasingly potent relationships revealed here is that Electra complex, the bond between Black Widow and her preposterous old dad, who is very large, very given to fits of temper, and likes smashing things. Does that perhaps give us a Freudian clue to Black Widow's tendresse for Dr. Bruce Banner, the alter ego of Hulk? This glimpse into troubled psyche is worth the price of admission on its own. So they, on Twitter, of course, are calling him all these kind of names, sexist framing. And literally, it hurts me. It makes me cringe to defend someone like that anyone who writes at The Guardian. I would nuke it from orbit. But was that really, does that pass the reasonable man test? Ooh, is that sexist? And what was it in corporate law? They had an old thing. They call it the firewall now, but back in the old day, I think for piercing the corporate veil, they called it what's the Chinese wall? They used to call it the Chinese wall or the reasonable man test, and now it's all in a reasonable person test and a firewall test for piercing the corporate veil. It's like, this is so stupid. Anyway, is that unreasonable for a middle-aged film critic to stop being so gosh darn creepy when writing? I think he might be gay. I think, because I think he's come up before where he said some creeper things. And here's the thing: if he was a she, this would not be a non-issue. You would never touch it. If he was trans, you'd never touch it. If he was African, you wouldn't touch it. Middle Eastern, it'd be fine. You're only going for him because, admittedly, and he can't help the way he looks. He's probably 60. He's probably ridden motorcycles out in the sunshine every day of his life. played rugby and shit like that. It's like he's a very hard in his 50s probably. He's had a very, exposed to the elements, probably a lot of stressful life, smoking cigarettes and drinking, and it's like, yes, it ages you. He can't help the way he looks. It is what it is. But like, is what he said so ridiculous? She has a sultry, sensuous voice. She's famous for that. He said what everyone else is thinking. Talked about Electra Oedipus. Everyone has talked about that. That's been, as soon as those, this is just ridiculous. And the weird thing is what this does. It has a chilling effect on free expression, which, because the Guardian's a left wing rag and this guy's a left wing rag and movies are left wing, so it's like, let the left eat themselves. But I don't think anyone who's on the left is watching these videos. But again, I can't support the chilling effect of free expression. Though it kills me to defend them when they wouldn't defend us. They wouldn't lift a finger. In fact, they would step on the gas to come after us. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you on Odysee, bitch, shoot. Thanks for support on Coffee. I will see you guys next episode.